Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a tornado warning in Arkansas for Hempstead and Nevada counties. At 4:19 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located just south of Washington, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Got radar indicated tornado, so if you look at the radar here, it is a little. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we do have some pretty good rotation there. Let's see, storm relative is where it's at. Looks like pretty strong rotation in there. See if we have anything. That was pretty normal. A lot of hail and rain. All right, doesn't look too bad there. Keep an eye on the velocity here. But yeah, it looks like we do have some rotation in there. This is only the second tornado warning of the day, I believe. If there is a tornado on the ground in there, it's definitely rain wrapped. Rain wrapped just means it's got high precipitation around it. You won't be able to see it coming. It does look like we have some pretty strong rotation in there with your blues and greens, and then here your red and greens. Greens are going towards the radar. Let's redo that. Which radar are we looking at here? So you got greens going towards the radar, reds away from the radar. And that kind of causes everything in here to rotate. It would actually be rotating. Maybe I have that right. But yeah, it's rotating in here. And anywhere near Prescott, Oak Haven, Blevins, Emmett, Perrytown, and Hope. Definitely want to take your proper precautions and be underground. If you have a basement or a storm shelter or a storm cellar, you'll definitely want to be underground. We do have we have a moderate risk of severe weather today. Can kind of go through. Let me show you here. Let me just kind of lock this. Test feed. Just leave that up because it's been annoying here lately. Okay, so can kind of show you a little bit broader of a look. Here's that tornado warning near Hope. If you zoom out, kind of give you a broad outlook here. So you have rain anywhere from in South Missouri here. Got some flash flood warnings up here. Flash flood here in kind of western Arkansas, near just east of Fort Smith. It looks like the rain's moved out of this area, so this is probably just kind of a precaution, but it's moved to the east here. You do have this very big. This is a very big line of rain and probably some really heavy rain and wind and hail in here. Anytime you get these little, I like to draw on these. Anytime you get these little kind of curvatures here, that's where out in front of these lines you can get a quick spin up tornado or two. I'm not saying it's happening right now, or it might not happen, but it's definitely a possibility. So if we look at the velocities in here, seeing here you do have some greens and reds, but you have this very this is a very big line of just strong winds. Got some strong winds in here. And then you have the rain and the hail. And these purples, this is very, very heavy rain being picked up by radar. And then when you come a little bit farther south here, you do have the tornado warning here. Kind of went over everything here for Hempstead County, Northern Nevada County until 4:45. Storms are moving quick, 50 miles an hour. That's a pretty big clip. Moving pretty quick there overall. And just want to keep you weather aware. If you're anywhere in the Prescott area, just a new mesoscale. I think this is the one. Maybe this is a new one, 338. Let's just go ahead and read it, I guess. So severe weather threat for Tornado Watch 75 continues. Summary: the threat for tornadoes is increasing across the watch area and will likely extend east of the existing tornado watch this evening. Storms continue to organize along the cold front, particularly near the surface low over western central Arkansas, where a small MCS has formed just on the cool side of the modifying outflow. Just so you know, MCS is just a line of storms. Other storms extend southward along the primary cold front toward Texarkana and farther south in Texas. Of special note are multiple bands of convection, which are gradually deepening within the moist plume near the Sabine River. This plume of 70-plus dew points is resulting in over 1,500 joules per kilogram of mixed layer CAPE. Mixed layer is the middle, I believe the middle, or it's above the surface in the atmosphere. But CAPE is convective available potential energy, which is what's needed for storm initiation and tornado genesis, and it creates energy for the storms to feed off of. It's kind of like fuel or energy for the storms, which is sufficient to support supercells as lift continues to increase with time. While a relative warm layer still exists near 700 millibars in the atmosphere, as can be seen on the 18Z SHV sounding, the moist layer has already become deep enough to break the cap. So the cap has been broken, which the cap is just basically means that there was a limit in the atmosphere, like a cap over the atmosphere, and that energy has to be strong enough to break it, resulting in warm sector storms well east of the cold front. As the low-level jet increases this evening, so will shear and supercell tornado potential. The low-level jet is the wind stream that's closest to the surface in the lower atmosphere. The low-level jet is also something that's needed in it can cause rotation and lift in order for the supercells and storms to initiate and have strength and energy and feel to sustain and also initiate at times. And then shear is basically like the wind in the atmosphere as well. So you need all of these ingredients in order to have strong supercells and tornado potential. So 0 to 1 kilometers, I'm assuming SRH over 200, I'm assuming kilometers, may support a few strong tornadoes with maturing cells east of the cold front. As such, a new watch will likely be needed to include areas east of the 75 freeway, I'm assuming. Where's the 75 at? Let's see the current. We can put up the tornado watch here currently. Is it storm reports? Not that one. Weather alerts. So here is the current tornado watch. Just a little bit to the south and east of Little Rock, kind of extending westward onto the Arkansas and Oklahoma border, down into the Texas border, down into the Louisiana border here. And so let's see, is there... I'm assuming they were talking about, so there's 55. Maybe they weren't. But anyways, they're talking about extending this watch east. A lot of this stuff out here is kind of ramping up too. Definitely some strong wind and hail in here, probably, I would say. Let's check the velocities. Not seeing anything too crazy so far from naked eye. My eyes naked. Go back up here to the current tornado warning. Make sure we're on the correct radar. Check the velocity here. Still got some strongness. I think that's where these red and yellow ones, in my opinion, are a little bit harder to read than these ones here. Let's go velocity. I honestly almost think that I like this. Oops. This velocity better. It's kind of far away from the radar. The radar's way over here. Didn't really mean to do that. Sorry. Radar's way over here, so it's getting kind of fuzzy. But it does look like it's broadened out a little bit, or maybe weakened a little bit, possibly. I don't think I see any signs of damage, but it's not like there couldn't be a tornado in there. If it is, it's definitely rain wrap. So just take your proper precautions and make sure you have a weather radio, a flashlight, some candles set up just in case you lose power. The weather radio with batteries is good, so you can still get warnings and updates, or even on your phone. Make sure your phone's charged. Maybe you have like a mobile battery pack that's charged. That way you can charge your phone if you're out of power for hours at a time. I'm going to turn off the tornado watch because I don't like it flashing overall. Let's see. I also wish it was just red like normal. I think it should be. Data source. So yeah, we have that in there. Let's see if there's a new scan of velocity. But yeah, if there was any rotation, it would definitely be in this general area right here. You have, especially right in here where the greens and reds kind of meet up. Right in here, somewhere near Prescott. Definitely getting hammered with some heavy wind, rain, and hail, I would say, in this area. Definitely got probably some hail in there, I would guess. 8 minutes left on the warning, it looks like at the moment. Okay. So the current warnings that we have is that tornado warning for Hempstead and Nevada counties in Arkansas. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings for Clark, Dallas, Garland, Grant, Hot Springs, and Saline counties in Arkansas. Also severe thunderstorm warning for Claiborne, Conway, Faulkner, Perry, Stone, Van Buren, and White counties in Arkansas. If we have any Australian viewers from down under, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in Australia for New South Wales. Back to the states, we do have a flash flood warning for Conway, Garland, Perry, Pope, Saline, Searcy, Van Buren, and Yell counties in Arkansas. Also Johnson, Logan, Montgomery, Newton, Polk, Scott, and Yell. Johnson, Logan, Montgomery, Newton, Pope, Searcy, and Yell. And also in Missouri, Carter County in the state of Missouri. Some of these are overlapping, so that's why I read a couple of those cities multiple times. They're overlapping a little bit, I believe. That does look like some pretty strong rotation, but we have this purple is just some junk in the getting kind of far away from the radar here, looks like. So radar's way up here in Little Rock. Let's go ahead and put this in motion. You can kind of see where this has been going. I have my radar loop it pretty slow. So it looks like, as long as this is kind of correct, it started out kind of strong, but it was still kind of broad. I didn't ever see it come together where there may be a time tonight where we can tell that there's a tornado on the ground, and you'll be able to tell, like, the couplets and the pixels on the green and reds, they get really close together. Sometimes they even turn like blue and different shades where it's like such strong winds and velocity and rotation that I'll show you. I'll circle it and I'll zoom in on it. This looks more broad to me, which is good news. That probably means that, it's storming there. It's definitely some rotation in the area. But so far, so good that, there hasn't been a tornado on the ground as far as we know. Usually we'd be able to tell. This just looks like it just looks like radar to me. And so, but that's good news so far, because we do have, very strong potential for a tornado outbreak today. I need to plug in my computer. Otherwise, it's going to die. Don't want that to happen during a live stream, eh? Let's just go down here. There we go. All right. So we have 4 minutes left on the tornado warning. As you can see, it's getting ready to move out of the box already. And so the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center is probably looking at this and deciding if they want to allow it to expire or if they need to extend it into the next county or up here in this area. So if you are in the Okolana, Gurdon, Gum Springs, Arkadelphia, Caddo Valley, Midway, the light area, anywhere in this general area, you have a lot of rain and hail and wind. So be on your proper precautions for that. And then you do have that tornado warning that's 4 minutes away from expiring. That's currently near Hempstead in Nevada County in Arkansas. So we'll see what they decide on that and keep an eye on the velocity here. Hard to tell what's going on there. You do have a little bit of this gave me kind of, almost looks like there's a couple different areas of broad rotation to me, if I can look at this correctly through that purple. Hard to tell. Let's switch over to this and see if this makes it out any better. I doubt it, but we'll take a look. It's hard to tell. Kind of looks broad in there, I would say. Oh, there. Oh, it's a road, not a. Thought that was another warning. That's a road. I just saw red, and I thought that was a new tornado warning. So nothing so far on that I don't see, but we do have 60-mile-an-hour winds out in front of this with 1 inch possible hail for this thunderstorm warning here in this area. Let's take a look here. Alrighty. I'm assuming they may just let this expire. I don't see. So this is a little better view without the purple in the way, so that's good. It still looks kind of broad. It almost looks like this is getting farther away from this area right here. It kind of looks like this is wanting to push this way, and this is still down here. So you do have some of this red right here next to the greens. It just doesn't look like it's very tight. But you never know. Storms and weather is unpredictable. Mother Nature is unpredictable. So let's see if they decide to extend this or let it expire. Even this storm. It's almost moving out of this box. Moving pretty quick. I think it was moving 50 miles an hour earlier. How are we looking down south here? Switch radars here, get a better look here. This almost looks like a tornado. Whew. Coming straight out of the sky. Little stovepipe tornado right there, huh? If we take a look at the velocities in here, don't see anything there. It looks pretty general so far down that way. Just a lot of rain, but this stuff should be getting into a little bit better of an environment out in this area probably. I'm thinking like anywhere in this south of here, basically in the tornado watch area. You even have a little cell down here in Mississippi kind of building up here. It looks like any of this stuff here could fire off and turn into a beast. It's always interesting how this radar over here makes this look way worse when you get close. That looks more sporadic, but that makes it almost look better. So that's interesting. Different angles, maybe different tilts or something in the atmosphere. Does look like they let the tornado warning expire, which I figured was going to happen, at least at the moment. We still have some, like I said, broad rotation, but this area up here is moving gotten a little bit less. So if this tightens up, they'll definitely rewarn it. I'll have to keep an eye on it. If you're in this area, take your proper precautions here. Very interesting so far. Just kind of chilling, waiting for an update. See if anything happens here. A lot of rain up in this general vicinity. About to go through Little Rock, Arkansas. This might be a salt to watch right here. This hasn't updated quite yet. Verify. There it is. Switch that. Is that a new tornado warning? 448. No, I think this is a new tornado warning. So we have a new tornado warning for Central Clark County and South Central Hot Spring County till 5:15. At 4:48, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Bernie, or 12 miles northeast of Prescott, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Radar indicated it's interesting. I thought this was the old tornado warning. It looks like it's the same storm. I believe they just rewarned it. I think that's right. Yeah. Here we go. So if we check out the velocity. So it does look like this was tight enough for him to rewarn it. I can get that. This is still kind of, these are the couplets that are kind of tight right now. So you have greens going towards the radar, reds going, oops, that was not good. You have the greens going towards the radar, reds going away. This causes some rotation in here. So the velocity, if you don't know and you're new to weather, or have just never seen this or are curious, this is just the reds and greens getting close together like this are 360-degree rotating cloud, basically. That's what a cloud has to do in order for it to be tornado warned typically. Like I said earlier, if there's a tornado in here right now, it's definitely going to be rain wrapped. So if you're in the area or if you have family or friends in the area, please let them know. You will not be able to see the tornado coming. And that's the most dangerous type of tornado, in my opinion, other than a nocturnal or a night tornado, which, it's getting close to dark over there, I'm assuming. It's probably about almost 5 o'clock. So you're also getting into possibly some Friday night rush hour traffic. So if you're out on the roads, definitely want to encourage you to be careful. Definitely don't ever drive into a flooded roadway. You never know how deep that's going to be, and that's very unsafe. Could cause your your vehicle damage or to be immobile. You have that saying, turn around, don't drown. Hey, buddy. Coming to checking out the stream. My dog Carl's behind me here, checking me out. Yeah, definitely some heavy rainfall in that entire vicinity. And we do have the tornado warning here once again. So if anywhere near Gearden, let's go ahead and look over the locations impacted. Include Arkadelphia, Gearden, Caddo Valley, Bernie, Gum Springs in Clark County, Richwoods, Bertzel, and Curtis. Take precautionary and preparedness actions. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows, and if you are outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Torrential rainfall is also occurring in this storm and may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways, as we just talked about. So this has 21 minutes to go. Only tornado warning at the time. Saw some severe thunderstorm warnings here for counties listed in Arkansas here, Arkansas there. Flash flood warnings for parts of Arkansas and Missouri, and also a thunderstorm warning in Australia. Wow, that expires in 2 hours and 6 minutes. That's crazy. That's a long one. So this is still pretty. This in general is broad. Oh, see that's gotten a little bit brighter on the last scan. A little bit brighter red there, pink there. That could be an indication of some stronger rotation. Definitely some stronger rain up in here. Let's go ahead and put this in motion so we can watch it. Keep in mind, this is also moving at a very fast clip. This is moving at 45 miles per hour northeast. Moving pretty quick, so you're not gonna see it coming. You're not gonna hear it coming. You want to make sure if you're anywhere in the area that you're taking your proper precautions and you're warning any friends or family over there. Really anywhere in this entire part of the country right now. It's kind of under the gun for some severe weather, some major rain, wind, and hail, and flash flooding. You have some very strong winds up in here right now. I mean, this bright red and this white right here is really strong winds, and then you have strong winds on the backside of this too. That's really ramping up, it looks like. And then this right here, this is a very big wall in linear mode of rain and wind. This is very kind of typical of what happens with. Oh, now we have another tornado warning. So Grant, Hot Springs, and Saline counties. Let's go over this. You've got a pretty pronounced hook right here. Oh, wow. So here we go. This is kind of what I was describing earlier. This is a lot brighter rotation. You can see the couplet that's close together. Let's go ahead and check for a CC drop and see if this is maybe on the ground, throwing up any kind of damage. If there is, I don't see anything that's major there so far, thankfully. This is also going to be rain wrapped, but you definitely have a pronounced hook here coming around. You have a little bit of an inflow notch here. This could tighten up, and there's going to be a tornado anywhere in this area here. We can look at let's put this in motion and see how this is kind of developed. You can see you got some strong winds here. Oh, this is very strong. This could have been on the ground already. This is some very strong pinks and reds and greens coming together here. Definitely have something going on there. Let's go ahead and read this one out for you. Man, this thing is moving at 65 miles an hour. So we have a tornado warning for Grant County, Saline County, Hot Spring County, and Southwest Arkansas till 5:30 p.m. Flying debris. Locations impacted are all here: Benton, Bryant, Malvern, Haskell, Rockport, Traskwood, Toll, Perla, Salem, and Saline County, Oaksite, Belfast, Magnet Cove, Finter, Gifford, Shaw, Glen Rose. Make sure you take cover. Make sure you're taking your proper tornado precautions. So we have 2 tornado warnings, not very far from each other in this line of storms. This might be getting into a little bit more of a tornadic environment, just getting into a better Cape environment. Cape is just energy and fuel that tornadoes and severe weather need in order for it to cause lift and updraft into the storm, and also rotation and velocity and twisting within the storm in the upper atmosphere, which is what you need in order to initiate tornado genesis, or the beginning of a tornadic supercell. Let me see if I can. Trying to see if I can share this. Share on Facebook. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Let's do it. Just getting my name out there, you know. Close this tab to continue. We'll see if that does anything. Checking out the models here. Updated run for significant tornado parameters. Kind of going through the night, we still have some pretty strong reds and purples and oranges there in Louisiana and southern Arkansas. Looks like that's the farthest we can get into it. Go to looking at bulk shear. This is like the wind up in the atmosphere that causes rotation and spin. We do have some very strong right there in Arkansas, eastern Arkansas. The yellows and reds are stronger. Purple is kind of normal. So this is not showing out very far. Let's go with Cape. Cape is kind of like the energy and feel that it needs to be tornadic and severe. It's not letting us go out very far with this right now. Let's change over to the NAM. See if this goes out a little farther here. as you go into tomorrow morning, moves east. Let's go back. Definitely has some cape in East Texas, west and northern Louisiana, and southern Arkansas. This is kind of the cold front right here. I'm assuming kind of capping that off, but you can see that in front of that line, if any kind of storm gets into this, 2,000 joules per kilogram, and this is almost 3,000, 2,500 to 3,000. That's quite a bit. If a storm can get going in that environment, that's where you're going to be looking pretty nasty, So let's go ahead and stop this and look at the tornado warnings. This looks pretty broad down here still by Arkadelphia and Gum Springs. That's some really, really, really strong winds up in here. Doesn't look like good news is it doesn't look like there's anything that's been on the ground with these so far as I can tell. Don't see anything there. But definitely have pretty pronounced hook right here. And definitely could have something going on right in here. Let's see. Yeah, I'd say if there was a tornado, it'd be anywhere in this area in general. But it probably is in this area if there was. Put this in motion. Yeah, it got pretty strong there for a bit up in here by Haskell. So if you're anywhere near Haskell, Oakside, Benton, Bryant, you're definitely in the line of this storm. Definitely take your proper precautions. Keep in mind, zooming out a little bit, this is just south of Little Rock, Arkansas, south and east a little bit, or southwest, sorry, of Little Rock. And this whole line is, just dumping rain right now. So you got these flash flood warnings up in here. Got a long line of wind and rain and hail up in this area probably. A couple tornado warnings. Like I said, this one down here looks like let's see this one. It almost looks like the actual storm is weakening a little bit. If you back this up, see how you get brighter reds. Look right there. It's pretty big, but if you look at the current one, it's way less, and it's kind of skinning out a little bit. And then if we go to the velocity and the rotation in the storm, looks pretty broad. Here's where the initial rotation was. It might be colluded or too far away from the radar too, so it's hard to tell. There could be something back in there that's just not showing up very well. But if this is kind of the true radar, which, even if you look at the storm, like I said, it looks pretty weak. If there was any rotation, it'd probably be back in here. And this is pretty small tornado warning box as well. Overall, so just taking a look at a couple of things here. So if we go back to the Traskwood tornado warning here, has there been any update here? Yeah, Haskell, you're definitely on his gun, it looks like. This storm definitely is ramping up in intensity. Does have a little bit of a hook, like I said. You have the hook, a little bit of an inflow notch. Inflow notch is part of a tornado. This is definitely a different type of tornadic storm than normal. Normally, you would just have a storm. Let me see if I can find one that kind of looks like a normal tornadic storm down here. Kind of like one of these. Like let's just say this was a little bit bigger. This kind of looks like it could be a supercell. You kind of have this, and then there's usually like a hook down here. And this area is where a tornado would normally be on the southwest side of a storm. When you have a linear mode like this, back up here, you get a lot more of this, where you have this kind of line, and you usually get these little hooks. And this is kind of an inflow notch right here. There's inflow coming in here. This should just feed in the storm. Um, it's kind of interesting because we talked about things earlier where a lot of this area right now is, being covered in rain and clouds. And so it's not able to get sunlight, and it's not heating up the atmosphere. But this stuff out here in front is probably getting it right now. Well, it might be getting dark over there. I'm not sure exactly timing wise here because I'm in Arizona and it's 3 o'clock here. Sun's still shining and all that good stuff, but that can kind of cause some issues with this. So, but this definitely looks like it's got some decent inflow in here probably right now. Definitely have some hookage going on right here. Got that little bit of purple in there, probably some hail in there. And some strong winds. I mean, look at this right here. This is a big indicator of strong winds right here. It almost looks like that's turned into more of a straight line wind kind of thing to me. Kind of pushing that way. And but the good news is that that's a good indicator that there's not a tornado on the ground right now. It's not doing any damage. Besides the typical storm, it could be doing wind damage or maybe some flash flooding, thunder and lightning, things like that, So like I said earlier, if you're out on the roads, it is around rush hour in that area probably. People getting out for work and trying to go out and do stuff on Friday night. But you definitely want to make sure you're taking your proper precautions. Never drive into a flooded area. I always want to put you and your family's health and safety as your main priority. Never drive into a flooded roadway because you never know how deep the water actually is going to be, and it could definitely immobilize your vehicle and put your life at danger. And we don't want that. Stay safe out there. Like I said, this tornado warning down here, it's got 5 minutes left, should be set to expire here pretty soon. Looks like it's definitely weakened, and overall, that storm just looks like it's weakening. I mean, it's still got some heavy rain, but it's definitely not as bright of a red as up here, Little Rock, you're seeing a lot of rain. This whole area up here definitely have some more heavy rain up here. Look how bright them red and purples are, So we will definitely keep an eye on this here, along with everything else this evening. That didn't seem to work very well. Let's There we go. Gotta love social media. Can't live with it, can't live without it. All right, so it does look like the other tornado warning south of here. Like I said, this looks like it's turning into more of a straight line wind kind of deal. You have this whole line here, but definitely have the ability and potential for it to have a quick spin up or something like that to happen here. Let's see. Oop. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. Keep an eye on this here for you. Looks like that storm still has some rotation in it, but it's kind of getting into that linear mode like we talked about. Looks like we still got 15 minutes left on this tornado warning here for Grant and Saline County in Arkansas. If anywhere in the Benton, Bryant, Bauxite areas, definitely take your proper precautions. Now, that's some pretty bright velocity, but it looks like it's kind of broadened up a little bit overall. Okay, let's see. Definitely got some strong winds in here, though. Even down here into Prattsville and Sheridan. You see how this inflow notch is getting kind of eaten up by moisture. That's kind of what I was talking about. That's going to stop its ability to kind of get stronger and strengthen. I think that's my gut reaction and feeling. Earlier, if you go back a little bit. I mean, there still could be some moisture in these, but it's not nearly as bad. This is earlier, and you can see how you have a pronounced hook and probably inflow right here. But now if you go to the current last radar, this area is getting kind of taken over. You still have the hook a little bit, but if you look at the velocity, this is kind of getting a little bit better, it looks like, but see how this is kind of far away from this area here. But you never know. I mean, you never know with this stuff. Weather is so unpredictable. You never know what could happen. Got to take your proper precautions and be careful out there overall. But yeah, look at all this rain, man. That area is just getting dumped on right now. Looks like Little Rock's been added to a very big flash flood warning area. Got a lot going on. Some of these storms down here have gotten severe thunderstorm warned in Louisiana. So we got Bienville, Jackson, Lincoln, Quachita, Union, all under severe thunderstorm warning. Ooh, we do have a little bit of rotation in these areas. A couple different areas of rotation. That looks pretty. These look pretty close, so these could be getting ready to go off a little bit. And that's all rain wraps. So if there's a tornado that develops in any of these soon, won't be able to see it coming. So you definitely got to be careful. Got a new tornado warning for, that's an extension, for Grant Pulaski has been added. Pulaski County in Arkansas has been added. Moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Definitely could be some stuff going on in there. It looks like it got kind of close there. But then if you go to the very next scan, it just looks kind of broad, in my opinion. Could be wrong on that, but would usually be able to tell if there was something on the ground. There'd be like a blue circle in here. And I don't see anything so far, which is good news. We definitely don't want people to be impacted by a tornado. I'm just here to report on it if it does happen, and keep an eye on the weather for you. So yeah, Grant, Pulaski, and Saline County in Arkansas, just to the south of Little Rock. Some of this could move into southern Little Rock, possibly, depending on how far north it goes. It is moving northeast at pretty fast clip. It's moving at 50 miles an hour. That's the other thing. If you're in this area and you're in your car, you don't want to try to outrun a tornado necessarily. If it's raining really hard where you're at, I definitely recommend pulling over and being careful. Never drive into a flooded area. Never know how deep that water is going to be and how dangerous that is. That could immobilize you and your vehicle and put your life and the people around you at danger. Definitely some real strong winds up in here still. Kind of waiting for the next radar scan to come in, see what's going on here. Looks like it's getting close. It's really it looks like it's trying. This definitely looks like one of the stronger storms of the day, tornado-wise. Like I said, there's a lot of rain in here. So if there's anything that pops up in there, it's going to be rain wrapped. If you pop in on the stream today and you're curious about weather or just want to stay up to date on any kind of, I usually try to go live during severe weather outbreaks when I can. Any kind of tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flooding events. I even want to try to get better at reading the models, on things like blizzards and hurricanes, and because I've always mainly just been like a tornado and severe weather kind of guy, but like to expand my horizons and make sure that I can put out the best information possible for my viewers, and kind of hoping to make this kind of a thing. Like I've always wanted to do it because I watch a lot of YouTube weather personalities. Like if you guys have ever heard of Ryan Holiall, Nate Schneider, there's storm chasers like Vince Wilty, Brandon Kopic, Reed Timmer. Obviously, most people probably know who Reed Timmer is. He was on Storm Chasers, and he is super energetic. And those are definitely people I look up to, and have kind of inspired me. One thing I'd really like to do is I'd love to be out there right now in my car, storm chasing these storms. Today is a pretty volatile atmosphere and has potential for it to be a pretty severe weather day, and severe potential tornado outbreak as well. Has a lot of the ingredients that you need. But it's just a long ways to drive here. I live in Arizona, and to drive all the way to Louisiana and Arkansas, it's probably well over 1,200 miles just one way to get there. So, but I would love to do it. And I'm trying to have the mindset of, do it now or do it soon. Because what if something happens and you just don't ever get the chance to, big believer on chasing your dreams and doing the things that you want to do. You got to make yourself happy, and do what you got to do. So another scan just came in, it looks like. Man, real strong winds. I still don't see any real strong cutlets, but it looks like we have a couple of different areas of rotation. Shannon Hills, just southwest of there, could have another area of rotation developing possibly. And then you have one down here, southwest of East End and southwest of East End, and then southeast of Bauxite. But keep in mind, this is all wrapped in rain. You got real strong, heavy rain in here. So you still have this real big, strong, lot of wind and rain and hail in here, probably. Very strong winds, I would assume, up in this area. Got a severe weather warning on this. 60-mile-an-hour winds gusts and penny-sized hail. Up near Augusta, Newport, Batesville. Still have these severe thunderstorm warnings down here. Definitely looks like we have some broad rotation in there. It just hasn't been. Could be trying. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Looks like that Grant Soline, the one back here, should be about to expire. And yeah, see, this is trying to. It's sure trying, that's for sure. Just gonna give it a minute and wait for the next scan to come in and see what happens here. Yeah, so new scan just came in, and it does look like it's broadened out a little bit more. There's definitely still some strong winds kind of going parallel to each other up in here, but this is the closest that it is to being a couplet, and I don't, with the gray in there, it just doesn't look super tight, you know. That makes it look a little bit better, but I don't really know how to read this brown very well. Okay, so let's see. Saw some bubblers out here that could go off here at any time now. One thing that you can do in Radar Omega that I think is kind of cool is you can go kind of dual radar, so you can have the reflectivity over here, and then you can turn on storm relative velocity or velocity over here. So if we go out and go up to the tornado warning, you can see some of that together. So right along the I-67. So it's kind of interesting because you can see how much rain is over here. So even if you're a storm chaser or just a pedestrian on the 167 over here, any of these roads in here, you know, right in here is where the rotation is. We wouldn't really be able to see it. So if there was a tornado in there, we wouldn't be able to see it until it was right on top of you. And that's the most dangerous, you know. You want to be careful with that. This does look like it's getting close in this area, maybe. Don't have as much gray in there. That might be a new area of rotation right there, kind of trying to build up. That might be something developing right in there. Doesn't look like there's any towns near it. I don't think so. That's good. Maybe. I don't know. What's this? Is this a road? That looks like it might be tightening it up right there just a little bit. Hard to tell. It almost looks like you have a couple different areas of rotation now. Kind of have this down here and this up there. But this is a little bit brighter. You almost have this back here too, and this. So a couple different areas of rotation that we're going to keep an eye on here over the next few minutes. One thing that I'm going to start saying is if you do pop in on the video or the stream, even if it's just for a few seconds, I would ask that you like and subscribe and share the channel. Even if you don't intend to, continue to watch it or continue to stay on it for minutes at a time or hours at a time, that's fine. I understand. Everybody has lives. Everybody's busy. But that'll help the channel grow. And I'd really like to get this thing growing, and basically, my main goal is to just get, raise awareness on storms, and especially if it's in your area, if you know like family or friends that are in the area. um, we want to get the word out to them and make sure that they're taking their proper precautions and staying safe and all that. So yeah, if you do think about it, like it, share it. Like I said, it does look like this might be ramping up right here. Looks like an area of interest right now. And between Easton and Wrightsville and Woodson, kind of a triple point triangle right here. Well, triangle action. My ability to draw a slice of pizza. Got some pepperonis on there. Got a new scan coming in. Does still look kind of broad. Looks a little bigger. We have this gray in here. And this area over here even has some gray in there. So that's good, though. That means that there's not anything on the ground at the time, most likely, A lot of heavy rain in there. So it does look like they let that back end warning expire. Oh, now the whole thing's gone. So the tornado warning has expired. So that's good because it expired. I think it had like 15 minutes left or something like that. So now there are no more tornado warnings at the time. Just have some straight line winds in here now. Looks like it's moved into more of a linear thing. No more couplets of rotation that are that close together at this time. Oh, we still have this huge, this looks like a comma. It's turned into a very linear QLCS. Still could have some quick spin ups. I believe that the biggest tornado threat now is going to be out in this general area, kind of out in front of these. So any of these little storms here, especially if they get like an isolated discrete storm, like one of these, this one down in here, let's take a look at that. This one has kind of a little bit of an hook echo to it. See if there's any rotation in it. Might have some broad rotation, just a little bit of that, and some strong winds. But if any of that tightens up, could turn into a tornado. This one already has more of a supercell kind of look where you have like a lot of rain, and then you have a little bit of a hook down here. Looks like a whale. Hey, how are you? My name is Waldo. Waldo the whale. Waldo the whale. That's what we'll call this storm, is Waldo the whale. YouTube animations with Trav right there. Isn't that beautiful? Got some heavy rain and hail up in there. Purples. Could be picking up a little bit. Definitely some strong winds. Got some bubblers out here. Tallulah. Any of these storms could, if they get into the right environment, they could just go off. A lot of rain up here. It's going to rain. Just kind of keeping an eye on everything here. Still have that severe weather or severe thunderstorm warning up here. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this thing gets tornado warned at some point if this keeps tightening up here. And that's pretty close. You have a couple different areas of rotation. I'm assuming that that's why they took this off. It's because it's more linear and you have this gray in here separating this. And that right there looks close. Still rotation, in my opinion. My expertise, which is not much. Not by much. I don't know why I have a feeling this baby's about to go off. Just got a gut feeling about this one right here. Waldo, the whale. Zoom in here. We've got some pretty strong rain in the purples and reds here. If you join the stream, please like, subscribe, and share so we can get the word out to everybody over here in this warned areas. Got some flash flood warnings up here. We switch the radars here. You can see why there's a lot of rain. Just kind of tracking over the same areas. A lot of wind, rain, and hail in here in this kind of Bow Echo region of up here. No tornado warnings currently. We've had 3 or 4 so far today. One just expired a few minutes ago down here in this area. Take a look at the radar velocity in this area here. Still have a little bit in there. If that tightens up at all, they'll rewarn that here, I would say. But yeah, right now just have some severe thunderstorm warnings here for this. Woodruff, Independence, Jackson, and White counties up there. This one is for Lonoke County, Grant County, Jefferson County, and Saline and Pulaski County. Keep in mind, these things are moving pretty fast. 55 mile an hour in direction, and also 60 mile an hour wind gusts and quarter size hail with this particular storm. And if we move a little bit farther to the south, have another severe thunderstorm warning for Arkansas and Louisiana, for Ashley County and southeastern Arkansas, and Morehouse parishes. Moving at 55 miles an hour, same thing, 60 mile an hour winds, penny size hail. And then we also have this one down here, northeast Lincoln and northwestern Lawrence and southeastern Copiah counties. This one's moving a little bit slower at 35 miles an hour, 60 mile an hour wind gusts, quarter size hail. And that's in Mississippi, just south of Jackson, Mississippi. Saw some bubblers out here. We are moving along. Morehouse parishes. Okay, I think I'm going to take a break and shut down the stream for now. If anything else happens here, I'll try to hop back on if I am around. If you joined the stream or you're on right now, thanks so much for watching. Please like and share and subscribe. And y'all have a great night. Be safe out there.